And we're live. This is Julien Jean Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company. I hope all of you guys are doing well. I'm back with another live stream. Um, yeah, I'm here, ready to talk about Seamoss. It's been a few weeks. As usual, I have nothing planned to really say. I'm really here to just answer most of all your guys' questions, whatever you guys want to throw at me when it comes to CMOS. For those who don't know me, I've been in CMOS for about 3 years or over 3 years now, running an export company. We export CMOS from St. Lucia. And so I've made CMOS my life, my passion. Um, all I do is like live, breathe CMOS. I'm constantly reading about different species, different harvesting techniques, drying techniques, packaging, just how to care for the sea moss, understanding the different species, how the species grows, how it reproduces, how it survives, all of that. So, um, definitely, I believe I'm more than qualified to answer questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'm honest enough to admit it, and I'm willing to go out and search the information so that because I truly believe in a each one teach one environment. We all can learn from each other, and so I'm excited to see what we can learn tonight. So I guess throw me some questions and stuff, and if I don't get anything, maybe I'll just ramble on about um, I don't know. My favorite passion about CMOS is the selling aspect. I feel like the marketing part is something that is very um, overlooked and sort of like people don't really spend enough time really understanding the market and the best ways to sort of um, promote the product to others. So let's give a little bit. See. Anybody wants to comment or even join. If you want to join in and talk to me live, you can, hit the request button. Or if you're on Facebook, there's a link to join on my restream. There we go. So anybody have any questions about CMOS? How it's grown, what it feeds on, even, what are the difference between the colors? That's a common question I get. Mhm. Yeah, I hear you. You get the color question all the time. And the thing is, one of the things that I realize is there's not enough research into understanding why these colors, or not why these colors, but what effect do these colors have on each other. You know what I mean? Like, what does the green do? A lot of people believe it's, because it's high in chlorophyll, it's a detox, but there's no real studies to prove that that is true. You know, I think that the main difference between the gold and the other colors is the drying process, where the colored sea moss, whether it be green, purple, full spectrum, it's not dried in the direct sunlight, and so it doesn't get that process of where it's sun bleached, where the sun hits it and heats it. And I think that does a chemical change in the sea moss, and that's one of the reasons why I prefer gold better. I feel like it's a more sanitary, I guess, product, more safer, because a lot of the um, bacteria and whatever stuff that might be harmful I believe, gets um, destroyed or reduced when the heat's applied through the sun. I heard green is a younger variant of CMOS than purple and brown. You know, I've heard that sort of the belief that the colors change depending on the life. I first heard that from Akeem, and what's interesting is that when I was in St. Lucia, and this is one of the reasons why I do what I do now, and why I'm very adamant about being sort of honest and upfront about the CMOS, what's really happening and stuff. Because when I was down there, this the guy was I ran into a farmer, and the farmer came up to me and was like, "Hey, you know this guy, King Pierre?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know who he is." He's like, "Well, you like." It was almost like I was a friend of his. He's like, "Well, you tell him when you see him that he doesn't know what he's talking about when the sea moss and this green, what he said about the green thing is wrong and this and that." And I was like, "Wow, this guy was passionate. He was freaking out." And so I realized that it's like, what, if I don't want to be that side of someone looking at me and saying this guy's a not that he was calling Hakeem a fraud, but I don't want to be called a fraud. You know what I mean? And so I always make sure that I'm really honest and upfront with my knowledge. If I don't know something, I say I don't know something. Anyways, point being said is that what he said to me was that, and this is what I've come to realize, is that the color of the sea moss is not so much dependent on the age of the sea moss, but more of where it's grown and where the type of water. So depending on the nutrients and what's in the water, the sea moss will change various colors. Sometimes it'll even be half green and half brown. Yeah, I know that in certain waters and temperatures, the sea moss will only go brown, dark and a dark brown, so that they can only make purple from it. Like there's certain areas where people have certain farms where they can only produce purple because the sea moss that won't get golden like people like it, and it's better to and the purple's a lot more easier to make. Let me see if I can get more people to in the conversation. See what happens. That changes it. It's weird how this Facebook algorithm is, in the sense that you have to, employ certain tricks and stuff to get your posts seen, and so people can know what's going on. And so one of the things I just did, and I'll see if it has any effect. I know it's done it in the past. Is you put at everyone on your post so that it sends a message to everybody in the group. You know, which I think is something that, like, if you're posting and promoting on the CMOS Buyers Club, you should be maybe not doing it every post, but trying to do it as much as can. Or for certain posts, maybe ones where you're not selling a product, but maybe asking a question or presenting some information, that you throw it out to all the group. And I think as someone that's marketing your product, you don't always want to be pushing out content that is like just geared to selling your product. Gary Vee has a great formula. It's called jab jab right hook or something like that. I never really looked into it, but grazed over it. And the summary of it is basically you need to give, 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 and then ask. And so I've always employed that strategy in my business in marketing, even before I learned it from Gary, because I realized that there's this thing called the law of reciprocation. And with the law of reciprocation, if you give stuff to people, they automatically will feel compelled to give back. That's why it's always good. Like when I show up to someone's place, if I can, I'll try to show up with a gift, even if it's something small or little. I just say, "Here, this is for you." You know what I mean? And so it changes the dynamic of the relationship because you're in you've created an environment where they are already feel like they're indebted to you. So, yep. So it's good to market your product like that, where you're giving um, advice and help and information, and sometimes it's not even directly to that person, but just out to the universe is what you need to do. I think it even involves the law of sacrifice, which is I think is important in order to advance into getting more of your blessings and more of the things that you want out of life. The more you sacrifice, the more you receive. But anyways, we're going a little bit spiritual on that. Let's try to keep it as Seamoss. Come to my place with 20K. I'd love to come to your place with 20K if I had 20K to come to your place with. Sounds perfect. What's up, Motor City boss man? Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is good. So it looks like my app then didn't work because usually like I would start seeing like more and more people in the group talking. But not much, bro. I'm here just enjoying the what is it, Tuesday today? Lazy Tuesday. I finished most of my work and I was sitting at home and I was supposed to start earlier, but I got on the phone with a friend and we started just talking about Seamoss and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, well, let me go and get online for a little bit and see if anybody wants to talk about Seamoss. You had a setback. Sorry to hear that. I hope everything is going better. Let me know if you want to talk about it. You know, see if there's any way that I can help you through that setback. Yeah, definitely, if anybody wants to join in the conversation, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on YouTube. And so with Facebook and YouTube, there's a link in the comments there where you can join in on a chat. And you can join in on the chat and hear what we're talking about. Yeah, setback, mess around and fall into a death trap. Yeah, it happens, man. But I feel like these are challenges, you know what I mean? For you to kind of like, step up and, you know, just put the axe to the grind. Like, it might be a good opportunity for you to increase the momentum or the pressure that you're putting on the business, and that will sort of like grow it faster. So that as you come outside of that debt, you kind of just blow up. You know what I mean? And so that's how I would kind of see it. A lot of times these situations that we go through in life, it really comes down to how we frame it. You know what I mean? And we can frame it one way and get one result, or we can frame it another way and get a result because really we're more just responding to how, oh, yours is an injury. So that as an injury, that's kind of like, guess it's physical. No, that's not much you can do about that, but wait, until you get out of that. So I hope you're okay. And I'm sorry to hear that you had an injury. Uh, I hope things get better. But as I was saying, in the sense of if it's a debt trap, because a lot of that happens in business. A lot of times when we're selling products and stuff, we fall off the train, or we get into a rut and stuff like that. And so the question is, how do we get out of this rut? How do we, what I mean, get back on track? How do we get motivated again? And it's hard. It's not easy at all to get like that. But like I said, a lot of times you have to look at the situation you're in and see how you can frame it in a different way so that you respond to it differently. And that's really all, in my opinion, life is really about is how we respond to things, how we make the decisions. All like everything we have happen to us happens because of a decision we've made, whether we've made a decision to do something or a decision to not do something that ultimately affects our total outcome and is the reason why we are where we are. And so I always tell people, if you're not happy with the way you are, then you need to change the way your decisions are. You're making your decisions, you need to start analyzing what decisions you're making and seeing what the results are and asking yourself if this is the outcome that I want. And how do I change this to achieve the outcome you want? You got to get really sort of present and aware of what you're doing because in the end, it's like I was telling someone, the decisions that you've made in the past affect who you are now, but the decisions you make now affect who you are in the future. And so if you're not happy with the way you where you are, you need to get present and see where you are at this moment so that you can take, action into making the right decisions to point you in the direction where you need to be so that that's who you ultimately become. And as long as you stay consistent in those right areas of making decisions, you'll stay in that place. So more to see. So let's do a live battle with Rick. Yeah. Oh, with Battle and Rick. I thought you said battle with Rick. I was like, battle with Rick? Why would we battle with Rick? Yeah, you know what? I should have called those guys earlier and see if they wanted to do a live stream with me. I like kind of planned this last minute and was more like, let me just hop on and see what anybody wants to talk about Seamoss. And it's interesting because, no one really wants to talk about Seamoss. Like some do, some don't, but like considering the amount of people that like follow me and watch me, I honestly don't feel like there's enough that they're doing to really sort of engage in like I don't know. Sometimes I guess I wonder like how serious are people in this business of selling CMOS? You know what I mean? How serious are you in taking CMOS? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know? But at the same time, I mean, fuck, do I know how apples grow? Do I know the chemical composition of apples? Hell no. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely, Motor City. It has been a minute since we've done a live with a group of us and stuff. And I like to get the whole gang together. I'm waiting to see when Yusuf comes in. Yusuf must be busy tonight because he's one guy I always enjoy talking to online. I would get on, but I'm in my sauna and then I'm ice bath, nice. I've been doing cold showers here and there. It's funny. I was if I had gone to the gym, I would have done a cold shower, and I do the same thing. I go in the steam bath for a while till I get really heated, and then I'll go and when I rinse off, I'll take a cold shower to cool my body down, and it's very very therapeutic. I want to start getting more into the breathing, the breath work and sort of have breath work in the morning and stuff to like calm my nervous system and reset my immune system and all that kind of shit that it does. Get more focus and everything. I think that would be really beneficial for the line of work that I'm in and stuff. And did you guys know that I was in St. Lucia like 2 weeks ago for like a week? Oh wow, you teach breath work. Nice. So you know the power and the benefits of doing breath work. It's really good stuff. But yeah, I was in St. Lucia last week and or maybe a week before and had a really good time there. Wish I could have stayed longer, but it's amazing how much you can get done in a week, you know. And I think I might start taking more shorter trips, more frequent. So I'm excited for that. I definitely want to try and organize a Seamoss tour soon. Like I would really like. It's just I know it's hard to get like, especially doing it for the first time. I believe getting people to sort of rally up and put money down and commit to coming on a trip is not an easy task. And it's almost like something where if I planned it or did it, I would have to plan it like 6 months in advance to give enough people time to promote it to enough to get it to enough people. Like you'd have to tell thousands of people just to get 5 or 10 serious people to lay down the money. You know what I mean? Because it is such a unique uh, type of event. Not everybody has the means and the ability. And I mean, I'm not when I say means, not just financial, but just you know the means to be able to leave the country. You know what I mean? That's the challenge. You know what I mean? Get time off work and stuff like that. And so you know, I recognize that it's a challenge to rally a good group of people together to go and do a CMOS tour. But I know that if I did do one, it would be an ill trip, like an ill trip. Oh my God, you guys would have so much fun. We would learn so much stuff. We would do so much like off the record, like, you know, I try not to like sort of brag and, you know what I mean, show off the stuff that I get to do in St. Lucia, but I can assure you we could probably do almost anything. We can go on zip lines. We can go trekking up in the mountains. We can go and find like 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 unique hot springs and baths and even just going to the sulfur mud bath would be an experience for a lot of people. That is something that oh, I always look forward to going to, like when I get to St. Lucia. And you know like I'm even feeling my skin now from the last time I was there. It was so um, enjoyable. So if anybody is interested or would seriously consider doing that, definitely reach out to me and let me know, and we'll stay in contact because I am going back and forth to St. Lucia, and I think it's like realistically the first trip's got to be something where it's kind of like I'm going and a bunch of people happen to be able to come down with me around the same time because and then we just form a plan from there, and then once I get that done I can duplicate it. But I know we can do hiking. I can get like people to come in and teach you all about like herbs and stuff. Yeah, we can do an ice bath and do the breath work and stuff like that. And I even have like this amazing location out in by the Pitons. It's called La Hotte, La Hoyt, I think La Hoyt, which is like means the heights, and it's like high up on a mountain, and it has a beautiful view of Soufrière and the Pitons, and it has an area there where we could do meditations and stuff like that. And I'm sure we can set something up where we bring in ice baths and stuff. I know a guy who does ice on the island. I can definitely get ice made and brought up, so that wouldn't be a problem. And that's what I'm saying. It's like once we get sort of the idea formed, it's like anything's possible because I have not only do I have a lot of family down there, but with my business partner Ashton, he has so many people that he knows and connections that we can almost go anywhere and do anything. You know what I mean? Visit any part of the island, and you know, yeah, we can go in at all the farms. I can bring farmers in there to like sit down and you can just ask them like a million questions and stuff like that. And you'd be amazing to learn what is like the truth there compared to the truth in the general world. And I don't really want to get into it because really I'm not here to kind of like fuck with anybody's business and stuff like that, or you know what I mean, throw shade on this shit or that shit. But I'll say one thing for sure is that you will learn a lot when you go down there and see how things actually is. And you will definitely grow an appreciation for the amount of work that is involved um, when it comes to producing sea moss, whether you're farming it or you're diving for it. So you're getting me ready to go right now. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, like and the food. Like, oh my gosh, trust me. I can bring in like chef like some of the best cooks on the island. You know what I mean? My friend is like an executive chef who used to work for the like he was the executive chef on one of the most well-known restaurants on that island. Hey, what's up, Craig? Whole life. I hope all is well from Grenada. Guys, if you're ever looking for Seamoss from Grenada, Craig's got really great product. He's bringing in a lot of Seamoss at great prices. And hey, buddy, if you want to come and talk on Seamoss, let me know. I'll bring you in on the chat. We can talk live. But I'm just reminiscing about my trip. Do we ship to New Zealand? Yes, of course. We ship everywhere. Everywhere. There is not a place in the world that we don't ship, except for the fact that some places where we ship, it's going to be expensive. Now, with New Zealand, it's not too expensive considering where it's located, but I feel like if you're running a business, you're going to want to get a substantial amount just to avoid the repeated shipping costs. CMOS lasts a long time. You know what I mean? It doesn't go bad in 6 months or even a year, like some people tell you. If you store the CMOS correctly in a cool, dark, dry place with not a lot of moisture, then your CMOS should last like upwards of 10 years, you know? And so I wouldn't be afraid to kind of invest and order, a little more than you think you need because I find that a lot of people are not really sort of doing the math when it comes to understanding exactly how much they really need to make the amount of money that they that's realistic or even worth your time. And this is not a dig at these small sellers, but I just kind of want to bring up this conversation to maybe open their eyes to realize is this like you know you got to ask yourself how serious do you want to take this business, and do you really want to have this as a business, or do you want to have this as some pocket change? Because if you're spending $100 on an order and you're grabbing 3 pounds and you're thinking you're running a business, I'm sorry, but you're not. You know what I mean? You're running a side hustle. 3 pounds is only going to make what 36, what was it, maybe 40 something jars. Let's get the calculator here. My math is shit. So 16 times 3, 48. So 48 jars times even $30 a jar. It's $1,400. Now, if you're making $1,400 off, let's say, you paid $35 a pound, which a lot of people don't, right? But that's $105 investment. You know what I mean? And you're making $48, $1,400. You know what I mean? Like, you should be taking even a third of that money right away and reinvesting it in your business. And so the next time you see me, you should be getting double the amount of, like, every time you see me, you should be getting double the amount that you got last time. And you should be trying to push yourself to sell more jars because it's there. Do you know what I mean? And you got to ask yourself, do you want to continue working a job that you may not be excited about, or do you want to like be able to sell Seamoss? Because realistically, with the margins that you have in this business, you can sell, like, you can live off this. I mean, how much money does people really need to live in life, right? Let's say you're making, uh like, for some people, $5,000 is a decent amount of money to make for a month. That's not bad, right? So let's do the numbers. If you're selling a jar at $30, 5,000 divided by 30, that's 166 jars. Okay, let's say it's 170, just to round and make even numbers. So you sell 170 jars times four. That's 42 jars a week. Or if you do it 170 divided by 28, oh shit, 170 divided by, I keep hitting the wrong number as I'm doing this. Divided by 28. So that's 6 jars a day. Okay. So if you could sell 6 jars a day, you can make gross $5,000. And really, if you put your mind to it, if you got up at 9 o'clock and hit the streets and walked around and randomly, like, you could sell 6 jars. I know I could. You know what I mean? And so even if you wanted to double that, that would be 12 jars a day. You know what I mean? And you could take 3 days off in the month. But even still, if you did $12 a day, say like you worked out a deal and you could sell the 12 jars in the morning. You know what I mean? And by 12 o'clock, imagine you can sell the 12 jars in an hour. You sell four every hour. The rest of the day, you're free, and that's making 10,000 a month gross, right? Let's say, okay, there's cost. Okay, let's say, what was it? 170 times two, because it was like that was 170 make what was it? 170 times 30. Yeah, so it was 500. So 170 times 2 is 340 jars a month. And so if 1 ounce equals 1 jar, that's 340 ounces divided by 16. So you need 21 pounds, right? 21 pounds to make $10,000. You know what I mean? And therefore, and so the 21 pounds would cost you, let's say it's 22 pounds times, let's say you paid $30 for it. That's $661 to make $10,000. Okay, let's round it up to an even thousand, because let's say there was, the doll. I don't know how much jars are. Jars are like $1 a jar. Let's even say there's $2. So this would be 660. So let's do 340 times 2 plus 660. So your cost is 1340. You can even do $1,500. So your $1,500, 10,000 minus. See, I don't think anybody really does this math to understand what they're really dealing with. And then, they want to get the Seamoss for like the cheapest price ever, and it's like, these guys work hard for the Seamoss, man. You don't need to get it. I think you can pay it if you do your business right. You can get it at any price. Yeah, sure, you'll make more money, but like to me, it almost like, how do you put it? Like you don't want to get lazy. You don't want to sit there and like, you know what I mean? I know it's a crazy thing to say, but it's true. Like some people they'll be like, oh, I only have to sell this many jars and I make this much money, and then they're happy. But I feel like it's like if you focus on just selling and making the money, it's like over time this thing builds to a point where it becomes a life of its own. And so you'll get to that lower price eventually. You don't need the lower price to sell the product. What you need is to focus on just selling the product, and everything will kind of flow. You know what I mean? But I don't know about you guys, but you know, I'd be willing to put 8 hours a day into selling CMOS so that I can make 8,500 a month, which I think is easily obtainable. Like I said, that's 340 jars. 340 jars divided by 28 days in a month. That's 12 jars a day. You know what I mean? And maybe you can even find someone to take that 340 jars at $20. You know what I mean? You're still making 340 times 20, $6,800. You find enough people that can take the product for that price. You could probably even double that and find enough people. Like if you can sell 340, how many people do you know that can sell half that? That's another like strategy. Okay, let's say 340. You get a bunch of people that you sell it to for $20. They make $10 off it, right? Which I think is pretty reasonable if you don't have to do any of the packaging, putting it together, this and that. And so 340 divided by 2, I think it's 170 times 20. You make 3,400, but if you found 5 guys like that, now you're making 17,000 a month. You know what I mean? And these guys they're making 1,700 a month because they're selling 170 jars times 10. That's 17. And for some people, as a side business, That's not bad to do. Make $1,700 selling 170 jars, which would be 170 jars divided by 28. That's 6 jars a day. You know what I mean? So there are so many ways you can make money in this business. You know what I mean? I know. I don't know. I got onto that from asking about. Someone asked me if I ship to New Zealand. I hope I answered your question earlier that yes, we do ship to New Zealand, and I don't think it's too expensive. It's like and it gets there in like about 4 or 5 days, depending on how much you buy. But so yeah, there's a lot of these different strategies that you can really sort of think about once you start doing the numbers and you understand sort of like what your profit is, what your costs are, you know what I mean, and then you look at just scaling, you know what I mean, and to me it's kind of like if you're doing 21 pounds a month doing that kind of numbers, you can go out and invest and buy 100 pounds and let that ride for 4 months. You know what I mean? Instead of buying 20 pounds every month, waiting till you're almost done to reorder again. Like really seriously, if you're running a business, you should be um, resupplying your product when you get down to like half as much, or like if you're going through 20 pounds a month, it's almost like you should be waiting till you're down to your last 40 pounds to order your next 100, so that by the time it gets there, if there's any disruptions or any issues, then you know what I mean, you have the extra stock involved. And I think people need to, like, I don't know if it's fear or what, but like, let's not. Like, this is a great product. You know what I mean? CMOS changes so many people's lives. Like, you should be, doing whatever you can, whenever you can, to kind of like build that business. Like, I don't think people understand really, like, the opportunity that we are at right now if you're in the business of selling CMOS gel, and how um like how much of an, like, we are literally like ground zero. You know what I mean? Like, the market penetration, like, people think we're this market saturated. It's not. It's barely even started. It's not even a blip. You know. Imagine it becomes something like goji berries, or um um like kale and stuff, where everybody sees it as a necessary staple in their diet, which really it should be. You know what I mean? It really should be sort of like it's nature's natural multivitamin, as Ricky would say from Gold Sumo. And I think, especially if you're someone who's plant based, you need to be consuming sea moss, um, as among other sort of nutrient dense superfoods. Right? But sea moss is definitely one of them, and it helps a lot. And so, as more and more people become to realize this, sea moss is going to get more recognition, and it's going to get more um, awareness. Right now, there's zero awareness. Like, you go, I encourage anybody to go up to 10 random people and ask them if they know about CMOS, and you might get one, maybe two people who know that. Right? Everybody else is a customer, because the major, like, almost everybody that I've ever had them try CMOS has enjoyed and liked the benefits of CMOS. Interesting enough, though, not everybody takes it for continuously. That's what I found. Is that there's a lot of people that say they're taking CMOS, but they're not taking it regularly. Which, whatever. I think the body knows when it's had enough, and you sort of, your mind is kind of like not interested in it anymore. But when your body needs it and stuff, you'll crave it. And when you stop taking it, you'll notice the difference right away, for sure. Especially when you take it again. So, I wonder if there's any questions from anybody. Donovan, I don't know if he's still watching, but you're welcome. He said, "Thanks for being very informative, which is rare to find in the CMOS community these days." Yeah, you know, I don't know. It is rare. It shouldn't be. I think that more people need to really get serious when it comes to understanding algae and just researching CMOS in general. I feel like that everybody kind of takes a shortcut and sort of just checks one or two sources and sort of, runs with those without really sort of spending some. It's almost like, I don't know if they're afraid or what, because it's in their best interest. Do you know what I mean? Even just to see what people are saying, to understand where your position is. Like, I don't understand that. Like, to me, you can't grow and sort of better understand your position without going and learning the other side's position. Do you know what I'm saying? And so they don't want to do that. It's weird. Either way, I think that we need to. My whole point is we need to do more to think independently and to understand on our own why and like on a scientific level, like, what I mean, there are studies. CMOS is not something that just came out in the 80s. It's been around for a long time. It's in all, like, major foods and stuff. They make alcohol with it. They they put it in toothpaste. They put it in all kinds of vegan products. I think the Impossible Burger has CMOS in it, but they won't tell you that. But I wouldn't be surprised, right? They have all these, like, it's an emulsifier, it's a binder. You know what I mean? They extract the carrageenan in it. They use CMOS with, like, in the case of Garcilaria, they use that to get the agar. And so, you know, I mean, Google Eukinema processed seaweed, you know and I think that's too where a lot of people are sort of missing the opportunities, that they're searching for sea moss when really they should be searching for seaweeds. And seaweeds is what is, really what sea moss is, right? It's an algae, which they in the sea they call it seaweed. And so you'll learn a lot and understand a lot of things about CMOS. Even this stuff where they talk about fake CMOS. Now, my view is that there's no such thing as fake CMOS. I've been pretty adamant about that, and the reason being is that, like, in order to have the definition of fake, it has to be made with something that's not real. Okay, I've yet to see any sea moss on the market that wasn't real sea moss, that wasn't grown in the ocean. A lot of the sea moss that might be grown artificially in tanks and stuff, they're generally not being used, one, commercially. Um, a lot of them are going to the agriculture sector, and a lot of them are going to the industrial sector for biofuels and biofuels, and they use it for some research and stuff. And here's the thing: they're not even really growing Euchydema or Garcilaria. It's mostly like sugar kelp and a few other dulse and a few other.
seaweeds that are more popular. Even Condor's crispus is being grown in land-based tanks, but it's not so much Euchinima and Garcilaria. See, and even still, it wouldn't be, how do you say it, as cheap as what you see that sea moss there now, right? And so the sea moss that most people believe is fake, through my research, and I stand on this research, okay, that sea moss is, it's not fake. It's like, how do I say it? It's like sea moss that's been grown for the industrial market and to be purchased in large quantities. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a large demand for Euchinima and Garcilaria and a lot of products and a lot of medication. There's companies that make, like there's a, in my health food store we have a company that does, they sell this product called Algae Cal, which is basically a calcium supplement that's been derived from algae from the sea, which sea moss. They don't say sea moss, but trust me, it's, I don't know what species is sea moss, but it's sea moss. And so these companies seek out, a lot of these companies are in Asia and stuff where their industry is way more advanced than, many of the countries in the Caribbean and stuff where we're getting our sea moss from. And so they're they're producing the sea moss by like megatons. You know what I mean? Like 500,000 tons a year, kind of thing. I don't know if that's the number. Don't quote me on that. I have to look it up. But it's a lot. That's my point. And when they're producing that sea moss, they're not doing it by hand, whereas you would find in most of the Caribbean where we're purchasing our sea moss. They're doing this stuff by machines. You know, they have backhoes, they have like, industrial dryers and stuff like that. And so this is where it comes in with the rubbiness and all that stuff. Some of these places, they even like, pre-treat the sea moss in an alkaloid to kind of clean it and disinfect it and stuff like that before they resell it. And I think that's where you're getting a lot of that chemical smell and stuff like that because this stuff was, you know what I mean? And these guys are selling it, you know what I mean, to these countries that are extracting it for carrageenan and processing it into other products, right? But because of the value of it and it's so cheap, it's easy to get it diverted and go into, other markets where people are then deciding to package it and do other stuff, and that's where you're seeing this fake sea moss, right? But it's real sea moss. It's just, in my opinion, it's more poor quality sea moss, and the reason why I say it's poor quality is because when you compare it to the quality and care that one would get by buying, um, either St. Lucian sea moss or Grenadian sea moss or St. Vincent sea moss or even Jamaican sea moss. When you compare how these guys are producing their sea moss in comparison to how these other countries that are doing it, who are really not producing it for our market. Like it's not meant for us, right? They're producing it for these other companies that are demanding it at that specification. Even the moisture level, they require it at like, 35%, right? There's, for those that don't know, there's two standard, drying, percentages in the industry. You can get your CMOS right at 10%, which is what most of the Caribbean and stuff you get. And then there's also 35%. 35% is what you get when you get the CMOS that looks like gummy worms and stuff like that. They intentionally didn't dry it all out because there's customers out on the world market that want that CMOS in that state because it's better for them to extract the nutrients that they want to extract from it. You know what I mean? Sorry, my nose is a little itchy. So that's where you're getting the fake CMOS. And if you, um, if you research who you're buying your CMOS from, you shouldn't have to worry about whether or not the CMOS is real or fake. You know what I mean? Um, it's like it's kind of absurd at the amount of people that have to question whether or not the sea moss I have is real or fake. I mean, you see the water, you see where it comes from, you see me in it, like you see like how could I fake any of that? You know what I mean? Why would I fake any of that? It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? And the only person who's ever no one's really talked about fake CMOS. I mean, maybe Dr. Savy, but I don't even think he said fake CMOS. Maybe he did. Who knows? Point is, it's the quality of the CMOS that's most important. And a lot of times the quality comes down to the person that you are who's handling the CMOS, right? How they dry it, how they clean it, how they package it, how they store it. All that is going to affect the overall quality of the CMOS. So to kind of lay like your whole value on one variable, which most people make that the rock, that is insane because there are so many other variables that determine the overall quality of that product. Least is whether or not it was on a rock or not, right? In fact, my experience being in St. Lucia has shown me that the rock plays no part except to keep it from flying away, and that there's no way for the rock to transfer any sort of benefit from the rock. What benefit does the rock really have? You know what I mean? It doesn't. You know, it's a rock. People seem to forget that it's a rock. You know what I mean? And there's way more nutrients in the ocean, in the actual water, than there is in the rock. So why do we focus on the rock so much? You know what I mean? How does has anybody done any studies to find out what nutrients these rocks contain? Do you know what I mean? Like how does it contain 92? How does every rock contain 92 minerals? You know, that's a question I would like someone to answer. You know what I mean? Not to get, I don't need to get onto this rock thing. I debate so many people about this. It's insane. And people always ask me, like, why do you argue with these people? Why do you, like, engage in them and waste your time and stuff like that? And as crazy as it sounds, I do it because not because I'm really interested in changing that person's mind. I feel that that person's mind's already made up. They're already kind of locked in there. They're what do they call that? Cognitive different dissonance. You know what I mean? Where they don't want to face the truth or do what's necessary to find what's true. But I know that what how do I say it? Those that are watching us engage in this conversation, especially when it's online, they're the ones that are curious and really want to know and haven't made up their minds yet. And so those are the ones that I want to um, drop a seed, so to speak, in their mind and encourage them to go research and find out. Because once you start researching to find out the truth, then it becomes clear what the truth is. But until you do that, you're really in a state of uncertainty. Do you know what I mean? And I think in order for us to really grow this industry, we need to all be more on the side of certainty of what this product is so that we can sell it better and we can promote it better and you know what I mean? Like, and we don't get caught up in this bickering about where what nutrients it has, we don't even know exactly how many nutrients and what nutrients are in sea moss. Marinate on that. Let's switch gears and see if anybody has any questions and stuff. I'm actually kind of getting a little hungry. I think I might grab I bought a bun me sandwich earlier. I think I might eat some of that. And you know, it'd be cool to check out. Just if I can pull up the website, lgae.org. Oh, it's lgbase.org. I wonder how many people have ever been on this site. This is a badass site. Algebase.org. This is a site that lists the world's algae, all the different species, all, you know what I mean? And so they even have, I think, locations and areas where you can find the, you know, where people have found like evidence of having this species of different sea moths. And so let's go to about. We'll just read a little bit of it. AlgaeBase is a database of information on algae that includes terrestrial, marine, and freshwater organisms. At present, the data for the marine algae, particularly seaweeds, are the most complete. For convenience, we have included seagrasses even through their flowering plants. Um, Many organizations, people have funded, supported, and contributed to AlgaeBase since its small beginnings on March 20th, 1996. So this is here. AlgaeBase is often comprised of a taxonomic opinions that may or may not reflect your particular conclusions. It is also a work in progress and thus incomplete. Please note that AlgaeBase is purely meant as an aid. Taxonomic studies are not a definitive source in its own right. You should always check information prior to use. So that's a good thing to know is that this website, let me just see if I can show you guys this website real quick because Instagram is missing on this site. So if you want to go check this site out, it's called ELGAEPASE. So if you guys want to go there and follow us on the AlgaeBase, you can see what we're watching as we're doing it. Species, common names. Let's see. Commanders. I already have it listed there. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if I do Irish moth. There. So what's this one? Virginia Stella. Interesting. So this is one that people think is, they call this Irish moss, but this isn't actually Irish moss. It's a different species. It's more Mastocarpus steliastus. Interesting. See, a lot of people would show that and say that's you know that's Condor's crispus. Sorry, I get so wrapped up in watching and reading these different, um, reports on the seals. There's a lot of species. Chondrus. Wonder what that one looks like. That one. This is Chondrus crispus. Yeah, that's I guess a chondrus, but it's not Chondrus crispus. I wonder what would be the difference. Like, what would make something chondrus and then chondrus whatever. Here's a photo of Chondrus crispus. Now here's where this looks like the same one that we saw earlier, where it wasn't. They said it wasn't Chondrus crispus. It was a different species. And I think this one too. You can find where the what sea mosses have been found in a particular region. The 8,399 matches of different sea mosses that are in Africa. Um, let's see. I wonder if there's any chondrus. There's like 8 different variations of Chondrus crispus. It's crazy. Original description. Oh wow, this looks like so old. Look at this. What this is. I don't even think these guys can see what I'm looking at. See, no one wants to sit here and hang out and do the research. And you know what? I just realized something. I'm looking at a different page that I'm on. I've moved it. The only thing that sucks about this sharing the page. Sharing. Like that. Yeah, if I do that, it screws it up when I get this. I think this is it. There we go. This is not what I was looking for. How about this commercial dryer machine? Like they took a lot of these videos off or something. Because I would search that and I would find the drying machines and shit that they were selling. They sell these commercial drying machines. Yeah, just you know what? See, we it doesn't even look like kelp. What are they talking? Unless it's shredded.
So, in case anybody's wondering what we're watching here, project. So here there's the effect which is help food produced in the market. Food.
Oh, I just seen him. I didn't even see Epic Superfoods was here.
think there's a Asia.
So I don't know if you caught that. So they're producing the Garcilaria commercially, you know what I mean, on a large scale. They're cultivating it, but they're not even using it on like for cut. Like they don't care to sell it to regular people. They're not interested. Like it's basically for their other agriculture, which is the abalone, which is to them more valuable.
Oh,
There's no company out there that is like producing Seamoss. First of all, there's not many that are producing them in tanks indoors. They're doing a lot of them, if they are, in ponds outside. But even when they do that, they're not producing it so that they can sell it to us humans. They're producing it so that they can reuse it to feed other species, like the abalone. Anyway, I'll go back to what we were just watching. So I don't know if you heard that. He said that China produces 2 million. Let's go back. 2 million tons of dried. million tons. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm back.
Wow. He put a very important point that a lot of people
don't realize when it comes to seaweed growth, the sea moss gets its nutrients from the land. It doesn't get it from the rocks. All right, the land washes nitrates into the water, and that gets taken up by the sea moss. The sea moss filters it out. Um, And so that's where sea moss grows. That's what it feeds off. A lot of people don't know that, but now you know that. All right. Let me get back to that video. Where is it? I know this is when they're doing this large scale experiment, you get them up in the area, if they're using the same. And
something. Trying to see if there's any other interesting videos. There's some drying equipment for seaweed. What's up, Alexis? I'm trying to accept your request. Maybe I can invite you.
Hey, the over. o'clock in the morning and I'm in pajamas.
Pardon?
At 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm in my pajamas.
Oh, nice, nice. It's 12 o'clock at night here, and I was, yeah, just searching on YouTube videos on Seamoss cultivation and stuff like that, and I'm just doing the live stream.
Yeah, I
So,
know. See, once you're always learning, always researching.
mhm.
That's what you have to do if you're in this business.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so you came at a good time to talk about Seamoss because you know what I mean, I'm here, I'm chilling.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been an interesting journey for us. I started taking CMOS last year,
Uh-huh.
and mostly because of my own health issues. Because after my pregnancy, the um, acid reflux got really bad.
Mm-hmm.
That I would have to have bottles of Gaviscon. We bought Gaviscon, but we couldn't get off the shelf.
Wow.
And I wouldn't have to carry it in my bag.
Yeah.
And o'clock in the morning, I'd be awake at night, just really battling. So, and just other stomach issues, digestion issues, and intolerances, etc., etc. So, since taking CMOS, it's been a huge, huge game changer for me, right? For my husband and for my daughter, who sometimes also battles constipation. And with having the sniffles and the flu and sinus infection. So all those things have cleared up. And I found that, you take so many supplements, a lot of medication, and it doesn't resolve it. It's just a temporary solution. And I do find that CMOS has everything you need. To sustain your health, because the food today doesn't give you the nutrients that you need.
No.
And so CMOS has been amazing, and it's for that reason that we decided to make it a business.
Nice.
To help other people that's battling with their own health issues. And I think if you look at the last couple of years, chronic ailments has been on the rise, and medications don't resolve it. It doesn't. So we not only sell CMOS, we also talk about home remedies, eating healthy, nutrition, all those kind of things. So yeah, I'm constantly on the journey, researching, finding ways to make it accessible to anybody. You don't have to earn thousands and thousands and thousands of rands for healthy life. It just starts with the minimum.
No.
So yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, it's so true. So you're drying your own seam? Because we've talked offline in messages and you were asking me about drying the CMOS and stuff. You're drying your own CMOS or?
No, so I'm in South Africa, and I've got a supplier that's been in the industry for 10 years. And we then decided we got another supplier, and there's a couple of other people that we also bought some stock from. So from my side, we wanted to research and to identify whether what we are getting is the real thing. And therefore we got a few samples, and you gave us feedback with regards to the moisture, which I never knew. And the new supplier that we got, the last bit that we had left over actually turned out to be really bad. It smelled so bad.
Oh no.
And I think it had to do with that 10% moisture. So subsequently gone back to our original supplier. And I mean, what from me months ago, it's still smelling good, it's still smelling fresh. And that was exactly the one that you pointed out as having the 10% moisture.
The one with the less moisture smells better, and the one with the higher, it's going to be a lot. Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, just from our side, because we're making it a business, it's important for us to do the proper research and to have the right information, because our customers are ingesting it, and also because of our food and safety regulation, we are heading in that direction. having the proper labeling, the proper testing, and all of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're almost
No.
to do that. So, yeah, your help has been super helpful.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you got value out of the help that I gave you. For you, I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? But you're right when you touched on like you got to know your supplier and stuff like that, and you got to know like the person that you're buying from knows their supply. Like it's got to be a sort of like a chain of like everybody's got to take care of everybody. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
make sure that the end consumer gets a good quality product.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So one of the questions I also asked you was with regards to the different colors of Seamoss. And I see you did do a post, so that was quite helpful as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of all of the colors, the gold, the green, and the purple.
Yeah.
Basically covers everything. So yeah, that was quite helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was saying earlier in the live stream that I was doing here, though, there's no real sort of like studies or tests that have gone to talk about the different colors because they are relatively new, and so like you got to be, I guess, not to say you got to be careful, but you just got to understand that there is no trust. So this is a lot of times like when they talk about the phytonutrients and stuff like that, they believe that that's higher. What I do know is that the purple is an indication of a higher iodine content, and so the purple will have a higher like it's meant to have more iodine because of the process that it goes through in drying it in the dark. When you dry it in the sun and you do the sun bleaching, it removes a lot of that iodine from the Seamoss, which I think is somewhat important because you don't want to be out of all the things that you're taking, you don't want to have an overdose of iodine, and it's hard to control that because that's not something that we naturally produce in our body.
Yeah. But it's important for thyroid function. But I've also discovered a nurse actually said to me that some people have a allergy towards iodine, and if you have any allergies towards shellfish and fish and all of that, it may not be a good idea for you to have the Seamoss, which is quite interesting. So we do have a combination. So I think just the pure purple is maybe too strong. The combination might be a lot better. But we always encourage our customers to do their own research and to know their own health, and to always test the product. Take a little bit, don't take too much, and then see how your body responds to it. And I mean, you know your body.
Yes.
You know if there's anything that happens.
Yeah. You definitely have to listen to your body, for sure. That's like, I guess the number one thing because I take a lot of Seamoss, more than the 2 or 4 tablespoons that's recommended. And I always say that like listen to your body because when I first tried Seamoss, oh my god, I probably took maybe 8 tablespoons. And my mind was just like, because it was one of those things where I took it and it instantly hit me where my eyes just like, what is this? And I was just like, oh, let me get more energy. Like, oh, let me see how far I can take it. And it was just like, I was bouncing off the walls, literally. Just like, okay, what do I got to do next? I was like, I like this shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. And then I was kind of hooked, started taking it every day. I felt like
because I saw Seamoss on TikTok, and then I thought, okay, this is probably going to be something good for me to take. So we had a market day at our house, and lo and behold, one of our vendors sells Seamoss. So I buy the Seamoss and I take it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it really gave me that kick. Like I was busy for 2 days, I couldn't sleep. So I ended up giving it to my husband, and he's like, why am I working so hard?
Yeah, like what's going on?
He was fixing stuff and just going crazy. So it absolutely does give you that kick in the beginning. But yeah, you'll have to monitor it because you
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Just also, what is your thoughts on Seamoss and CBD infused? Because
I
I've seen that in the UK as well.
I've never tried it. Out here in Canada, our weed is legal, but it's somewhat regulated. So you can't,
Okay, yeah.
like, the average person
And
can't.
then UK exports quite a bit to Canada.
Pardon?
South Africa exports quite a bit to Canada.
Weed? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got cannabis farms in South Africa.
Yeah, but I wonder why we would export it to Canada when we we're like the
Could be
king,
cheaper quality as well.
like we're like the kings of growing CMOS. I mean, of CMOS of cannabis.
But, oh, okay.
Well, that in
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Control is another thing. I mean, our agriculture is quite huge as well, and we export quite a bit.
Yeah, I didn't even know that countries were importing and exporting to each other. I thought that was still something that they were working on. But either way,
Oh, okay.
whatever. What was the point
Yeah.
we were making?
You're just asking what's your thoughts on it, because CBD kind of makes you
Oh,
relax.
yeah. So
One,
that being said,
giving you the energy. But I've seen some UK companies having that kind of infusion.
I think it's cool. I think it's worth a try. The only thing is that it's hard to get access, like for like the average person to buy CBD here in Canada. You have to buy it from a licensed dispensary. So, and I don't think you can sell products with CBD in them. You could say it's got hemp in it, but you can't say CBD. And if you do,
Even if you make it in South Africa, you can't just have any person, making it and selling it. You have to go through the proper channel, and it is super expensive and quite an process to get into that industry.
Yeah, it's a shame that how they always make these kind of things into like a cash grab for the government and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there are lots of natural remedies and other alternatives to also being healthy. It's just customers operate in different spaces.
Yeah, for sure.
You do what we do as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much stuff, and CBD is a good product. So you're in South Africa, eh? There's actually a lot of people looking to buy Seamoss in South Africa. I see it happening, like requests all the time. Have you thought about getting into like doing wholesale or something?
Yeah, I've definitely considered it, but I am looking at getting a few suppliers and testing our suppliers before going to that direction. So I don't just want to get a lot of stock in and not know what I'm doing. So I decided to follow the right process. So like I said, the supplier we've gone back to, the stage we at is quite small. But we are making a profit. We are a profitable business, and I think once we grow, if it is an option, then yes, definitely. But more because we would like resellers out there to have the proper product. Would be the main reason. But we obviously first need to do our homework and let our suppliers do the proper testing before we can get to that stage.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to consider though, because like I said, there's a lot of people that are always like, and they want smaller quantities and stuff like that for the CMOS. But I agree, you don't like. I'm sure after running into the situation where you switch providers and the second one really wasn't up to that you were looking for. It's hard because everybody has different tastes and stuff like that. But you do have to have someone that's willing to listen and understand what you're looking for, regardless. Because I have customers where, like you would look at the CMOS and you would be like, I'll never take that. And then these guys, they're like, yeah, I'll take that all day long. And so part of my job is balancing what Seamoss goes, because the reality is that it's a natural product, so it's not always going to be the same. But
Mm,
especially when you're buying 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. But when
yeah,
it's almost like, even though it's not consistent, the types of Seamoss or appearances can be consistent, and so you're able to
yeah,
sort it out and basically have this type of like appearance for this. Because I don't want to say gray, because it's, in my opinion, it's all the same Seamoss. It's just some looks more appealing to some people, and other people it doesn't. You know what I mean? But there's both part. Like I have guys that are just like, I'll take this stuff all day, and then other people are like, hell no, I'll never touch that. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I do it. The one supplier that I've got, the initial one,
Hmm.
when I look at CMOS, it doesn't have that white powder residue.
That's okay.
Uh,
The white powder is good.
and what is the white powder?
It's salt,
Okay.
but it's
So
naturally
is it
what?
a good indication?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's naturally occurring salt. But here's the thing: some farmers will take that salt off, so it doesn't look like there's a lot on it, even though
Okay.
originally there was probably a lot on it. And the
Okay.
and the amount of salt really kind of comes down to the type of species that you're working with. So
Yeah.
some will produce more salt than others.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of the smell, because the one that we've got, like, smells really bad. Like, really bad. Is that normal as well?
Yeah, it depends where it came from. And this is what I was saying
Okay.
earlier, when the quality comes down to the person processing it. If I take
Mm,
the sea moss, right, out of the water and I harvest it and I keep it in a buck of seawater, say overnight, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'll do it in the morning. That sea
mm.
moss is going to have a different smell to it because it's been sitting in water that wasn't circulating. Do you know what I mean?
I,
Or
yeah.
if I take the sea moss and I wash it once, or I just dunk it in the water really quick and I don't really dry it off, it might smell more. A lot of that
Yes.
smell is coming from the residue from the ocean water, because when the ocean water gets out of the ocean, after a while it
Yeah.
has that kind of like dead fishy smell.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That dead fishy smell like it.
And furthermore, when you're dealing with colored sea moss or sea moss that's dried to 35%, right? Because even with the colored sea moss, it's hard to get it right down to 10%. And so often you'll
Yeah.
get it, it'll be more fresher, right? That moisture that's inside the sea moss, that's seawater.
Okay.
So it's going to start to smell too, just like you put any seawater. And like if I had a bucket of seawater and took it from the sea and left it by the side of my house, it's going to start stinking after a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just what it does, you know?
And how long does it last for?
How long does what last for?
The dried sea moss. What is the shelf life
Oh, dried sea
generally?
moss?
Yeah.
If it's stored correctly, you can have sea moss over 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't really go
Okay.
bad, especially if it was dried properly. What will make it go bad is the moisture. If it
Yeah.
keeps like getting moist and dry, it'll grow more mold and then it'll spoil.
Okay. And
Or
can you see what would be the indication on the actual sea moss? Because mold can have like a
huh?
whitish color. Mold can have like a whitish color.
Uh-huh.
Uh, how would you know if it is starting to get moldy?
Um, that's hard to tell.
Mm.
I'd
I
have to
suppose
check with
with
my
like sea.
partner because we've never really had any sea moss that I would consider has gone moldy or has gone bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually, what happens is the sea moss will, like when the sea moss has gone bad from bad storage, it will start to
Yeah.
disintegrate. and it will turn like a really ugly color, like almost black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting to know.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're definitely going to have our product tested, and I think mostly to specifically identify the vitamin content and the mineral content, because we would like to band, and there's like one or two major players in South Africa. So I think there's definitely room for us to grow if we do this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think there's just even if you do it incorrectly, there's a lot of room for you to grow.
Yeah, we'll be learning.
Mhm.
We're still learning.
Yeah, my view is don't slow down to learn. Like learn as you go. Learn, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, and this is what people seem to
Yeah.
forget, if you screw up, if you really have say you do something that is detrimental to the company name or whatever, you can shut down that company and open up a new company in a completely different name, and no one's gonna know you know what I mean? And you learn from your mistake and don't repeat what caused you to get to that point, but don't think that you have one life and then that's it. Like your company's dead, you're gone. No, man, you can reinvent the company 1,000 times. You know?
Yeah, well, I love your name, and we're gonna do this properly with the right research, and we have these discussions with our customers that we're not just any person selling it. We're spending a lot of time in research, and we're plugging all of our profits back into the business
Good.
so that we can teach it and give you a proper product.
Mhm.
So I'm really passionate about ethics and doing the right thing, because at the end of the day, it impacts our customer, and we want the very best for them.
Yeah.
You know?
The most important thing, if you want to grow your business, is to focus on awareness. That's your number one thing. Like, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you know shit about the Seamoss. If everybody knows that you have Seamoss, then you know what I mean. You're going to do better than anybody else that doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a matter of letting people know. Here's the crazy thing, and you might not relate to this, but some people might that's watching this. Selling Seamoss is like selling drugs. The demand is already there. People want the stuff. When they try it, they'll like it. You know what I mean? There's a high from taking Seamoss. And so you just have to present it to them. Do you know what I mean? You don't see drug dealers saying, "Hey, buy my." You don't need to do that. Do you know what I mean? You just say, "Hey, I have this. You want some drugs? I got some drugs." That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a different type of pharmacy, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, another product that I used to use. They don't sell it fresh anymore, but I used to absolutely love it. Was fish wheatgrass.
Fish wheatgrass?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of wheatgrass.
I've heard of wheatgrass.
Long grass. It's a specific grass that you can choose.
Mm-hmm.
And just the pot of wheatgrass is equivalent to a kilo spinach or broccoli.
Yeah.
So it's like just this boost of oxygen and chlorophyll that goes into your system and just cleans out everything. So when I used to drink many years ago, and I'd have a hard time the next morning, there was a cafe downstairs at my workplace, and they would sell it. So the next morning, I mean, I would take it, but I would cringe for at least an hour. I'd feel so horrible. But within 2 hours, I would be as right as rain.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So, yeah, there's lots of stuff on the market. But again, I mean, I also believe a lot in natural remedies that works for us. I mean, we haven't taken antibiotics or cough medicine or anything like that in more than a year and a half. Since making the changes. I make my own herbal antibiotic. And it's just the stuff that you have in the kitchen. onion, garlic, honey,
Mm-hmm.
lemon, turmeric, cayenne pepper, combination of that. And, if you are sick and we've got any kind of infection, we take that and it works,
Mm-hmm. Ginger
So,
shots are big. Ginger
Sorry?
shots, those I think are a big, like, a product that I think is popular. Like, if more people make it, like everybody likes taking these shots, these health immunity shots, these like almost like boosters or whatever you'll call them.
Yeah. But because it's a bit difficult because you need to have it fresh, like ground fresh, and you cut it and then you juice it. With ginger and orange and turmeric, you can still store it in the fridge. It's a bit easy. Wheatgrass you have to cultivate, or you buy the powder for, which is similar to before. But I find that the fresh is always the best. Always, always the best.
The what? Sorry?
Fresh products is always the best. Like the fresh Seamoss. I don't know what your thoughts are on the capsules, like the dried Seamoss.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sell that?
Yeah, well, we sell the Seamoss powder.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually have some right here. Keep powder on my desk. Yeah, so this is actually pretty good powder. It's probably some of the best that I've seen on the market. It's super fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get this little thing. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yes, I can.
So you see how fine that is?
Yes. So that's just dried out and you grinded it.
Yeah, so first they clean it. They clean the sea moss really well, and then they grind it really like fine, and then they run it through like a mesh screen to ensure that it's like super powder, and so like you can see on my finger, it's like flour. Like the same consistency of flour. Really fun.
And then how to clean it thoroughly, so it comes out of the ocean. You just use clean water to wash it off. All the residue gets washed off. So at the gate, you have to clean it really properly before you dye it.
Yeah, I think they'll clean it probably in river water, then dehydrate it till it's super dry, and then they wash it again, and then they blend it.
Okay. Oh, I see. But do you dye it after the second wash as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd wash it to get any debris that you would like miss or anything that fell on it between the time of the first drying, and then they would be dried one more time, and they dry it in like a dehydrator.
Okay.
Yeah, so it goes super dry.
Awesome. It's been a very interesting conversation, Lucian. So thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Anytime. I enjoy this. I like talking about Seamoss and answering questions and stuff. Like, I was excited when you came in because, like, me talking on my own is probably the boringest part about this show because I'm like into the most like. Pardon?
I don't know how you would do it. I would struggle just speaking to myself and off the top of my head. So.
Practice, and you can do anything with practice. One thing I always remind myself is that if you can learn to walk and talk, you can learn to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, think about that. People don't really appreciate the accomplishment that they make when, like, you're a baby. You don't know shit. You don't know what the frig is going on, and yet you watch people around and follow what they do and hear what they're doing, and then the next thing you know, you're talking. Do you know what I mean? Like, if everybody applied that sort of desire or tenacity to accomplishing what they want, everybody would accomplish what they want. Think about that. Because you don't stop until you walk. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
it takes you 2 months, 3 months, 8 months, do you know what I mean? You,
Yeah.
you figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think sometimes people are forced in that situation. So, with us doing COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
I was still working from home, and my husband was working for a huge flight company,
Mm-hmm.
airline,
Yeah.
and that year we had our daughter, and 4 months later he got retrenched from a job that he was working for 20 years.
Oh wow, that's gotta hurt.
And yeah, I mean, it was a challenge. Fortunately, we both did really well in our finances. So when we left, we managed to pay off our bond. So our house is fully paid. And we made a few investments that we're still waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've just that we have to diversify and not just focus on one area because anything can happen. And I think with lockdown, it showed us it's so good to diversify. So one of the other things that I'm doing, I'm actually learning how to do trading as well.
Oh wow,
So,
cool. What kind of trading?
yeah, forex mostly. So I'm learning to do gold, major currencies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been since the beginning of the year, and eventually I got to a stage of doing actual trading now.
That's awesome.
So he's mostly looking after the household while I'm doing a 12-hour day. With me sitting at the kitchen in the morning, I can't sleep. Just looking at some trades and just again doing a whole lot of research. Because the Seamoss is something that's really a passion for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Yeah.
just building a legacy for our daughter, coming from a background of I went to a good school, but never managed to study straight after school. So it was a challenge
Mm-hmm.
to just find need financially, and we very much on building that legacy for our
Yeah,
daughter.
that's
That she
awesome.
don't
Well,
face
you're
the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're doing a lot of things that help like promote like an independent lifestyle, like definitely Forex. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm like really into technical analysis. So I study like crypto and Forex, trade pairs and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not actively trading now, but like there was a time where I was, just for fun, but people don't realize like you put your mind to it, you can easily make $300 to $500 a day trading
Yeah.
forex in a couple hours and have the rest of the day to do other things. It's all how you manage your time and how you just what you decide to commit to. You know what I mean?
Mm,
That really kind of
yeah.
determines the future of where your life is. And so like I believe you guys are committing to the right things that will create like direct you in your future so that you have more freedoms to do what you want and more control over your lifestyle. It
Yeah.
seems like your experience with COVID has taught you that you need to kind of be able to pivot in ways that you're sort of in control of. Like these are jobs that people can't, you can fire you from these jobs. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to kind of go all in it if you enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Because the more you become an expert at it, the better you'll become, the more freedom you have. And you don't need these fucking gurus. I hate these gurus that come on and try and sell you on these package and let me show you how to, just get a
Yeah.
practice
And I
account.
think that's somebody that's teaching a group for free.
Yeah.
Because he's also very passionate about helping people to build a sustainable income because you can't just the job that you had for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Company can struggle and then what do you do? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he spent a lot of time and I can absolutely see the difference. In my trading capabilities now. So I think, for us, it's just a continuous lifestyle of learning
Yes.
and looking for opportunities. And, one of the big things that we also love doing is collaborating. And I mean, with the bit that we're making, we support even other local businesses as
Mm-hmm.
well.
What is it you
So,
like? What is it called? Lab? What did you say?
lovely and healthy.
Oh, just eating healthy.
Lovely and healthy.
Oh, lovely and healthy. Okay, I thought you said labyrinth or something like that, and I was like, what?
No, lovely and healthy. My husband came up with a slogan, healthy on the inside and lovely on the outside.
Yes, you look lovely and healthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is nice.
So,
Okay.
so that's very exciting that we're able to help others. And we actually have two ladies that's interested in reselling the Seamoss and some other products as well. So, yeah, I think it's really awesome that we get to help others
Yeah.
that also feel financially.
How are
Yeah.
you? How are you marketing your products? Like, how do you let people know that you're?
So we on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we've got a website, and then word of mouth, and we use a messenger app called WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, you can set like a business profile with all of your products,
Mhm.
and you can also post it on your status, so your network gets to see it. And then we also attend business networking workshops. Where we can also display, and then we also do market days. So we've got two coming up, actually just one coming up that we'll do at the end of the month. So it
Nice.
all depends on time-wise with all the other things that we're doing. But yeah, I think, we're following the value and the passion, and I believe that everything else will fall into place.
Would you like to make this like your full time career, like your full time business doing this, or are you happy? Like,
This
do
is
you? Oh, it is your full time.
this is
Because I remember you said you left work, but I thought you did something else and was.
I did a couple of years ago,
Uh,
before my daughter was 3 years old.
mhm,
So I left my corporate job that I worked for 10 years,
mhm,
had a good salary, top job, but it was super, super, super stressful.
mhm,
And that felt like it wasn't, my quality of life wasn't worth it, the kind of work you put in. You can
mhm.
absolutely put kind of work into your own business. Yes, it is long hours, and it's a different kind of stress, but I don't have the anxiety that I used to have working for a boss, because the expectations was quite high and it was just a lot of work. It was just hectic.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt you, but it's funny how you mention that because a lot of people they will be how do you say it? They'll be kind of like afraid to have a business or start a business because they're all like, oh well, with a job, I'm guaranteed a paycheck and this and that. And then I'm like thinking in my head, like, well, no, you're not. Do you know what I mean?
your
Like
health, your family
anytime
suffers.
you pardon?
Your health suffers and your family suffers. So is it worth it?
But not only that, but like the guy could come in and say you're fired today. Oh, we're laying people off today. Or, Johnny, you didn't close the door properly, or you didn't, you know what I mean, do this properly. So we're docking your pay or what. Like this person is like you're a slave, and
Yeah.
your whole life is determined on these people. I honestly believe that part of the problem in society today is how we are tied and
Being
slave.
conditioned.
Pardon?
We've been conditioned.
Yeah, not even conditioned, but how we're slave and tied to our jobs. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times people will do things that they don't believe in or want to or don't support because it will protect their job or mean they will get an advance or some kind of an improvement in their financial position. And that to them
Yeah.
is more important than, doing what's right and stuff. And that to me is what's wrong in it's kind of like society. It's almost like if
Yeah.
everybody could think freely and do what they want without having fear of
Yeah.
losing their source of income, that people would
Yeah.
make different decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you definitely, and I suppose you hang out with people that have taken the plunge, and you can encourage others to do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So but I do think that people are stuck where they are out of fear because in our I won't say days, but I'm a colored woman. That's how we identify in terms of race in our country. So white, black, colored is mixed. And in our colored community, our parents or our culture would be that you have to work your job for 20, 30 years and then you retire, and that's it. That's the life of probably 95% of our community. So for us, our family, my husband and I, we're really big on breaking that cycle and helping others wanting to break that cycle as well. That you absolutely can break free from it, you live in proof of it. And then you need that support structure, people that are going to encourage you, people that are going to partner with you, people that are going to assist you and show you. Not keep all the information to yourself. Because sometimes people can do that. They don't want to see others grow. But we're very passionate about seeing others grow.
I always laugh at that because a lot of people say that to me, Julian. Oh, you're giving away all the secrets. You're doing all this. The truth is, there are no secrets. We live in the information age. The information's everywhere. If you seek it, you will find it. If I found the information, you can I always laugh when people act like there's some proprietary secret that they're holding on to. It's like, no, there's not, And and so I always say to people, I would rather be known for the person that helped you out than the person that turned my back on you. Do you know what I mean? And so you do that enough. It's the law of reciprocation. You give, you will receive. You can't just expect to be blessed and you're not blessing others.
Yeah.
You know.
I think just decide what your standard is and always stick to it. Don't compromise if that's the decision you're making.
No.
Regard of what decisions others make. You stick to your standard and everything will work out.
So you've been doing this full time for the last 2 years. How long did it take before you felt that you were in a position that you were comfortable and not, because this must have been a fear, I guess the reason why I'm asking this question is because a lot of people are on the fence about dropping their job and getting into this full time. And I'm always trying to show people, and even in this live stream today, I was showing the numbers of how easy it is to kind of push yourself so that you can make 10,000 US a month or 5,000 US a month. You know what I mean? And so
at this stage, we've been living on our savings for quite some time. And Seamoss, the lovely and healthy brand, has really exploded. And in 3 months, we are really making break even. And like I said, assisting 7 other businesses. And our next step is to eventually get to getting a salary from it, drawing a salary from it.
A what, sorry?
Not yet, a salary, like your paycheck from the business.
A what chip?
A paycheck.
Oh, salary. Okay, sometimes it's your accent that I find it's hard for me.
Okay, I'll try.
It's not you, it's me. So don't worry about it. Don't change. It's me that's having the problem hearing you. Not you. You're speaking fine.
Somebody says that it reminds me of that song. It's me. But we are reinvesting our profits at the moment to focus on boosting. But we believing in the next 6 months we'll be able to take a salary from the business.
That's awesome. But that's smart that you're reinvesting and getting, growing with the business and scaling and stuff. Because that's another thing that I kind of stress to people is you got to decide if you want this a side job or if you want to, make this a real sustainable business that can support you. Because if you are, then it's almost like if you buy 5 pounds from me, the next time you come, you should be buying 10 pounds. Don't keep it the same
Yeah.
5 pounds. Push yourself and see how much more you can sell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to even ask yourself, like, and this is something I always talk to people when I'm kind of mentoring them, and even with myself, like, because I kind of mentor myself internally. I'm always asking myself, am I doing right? Can I do better? What can I change? And so the thing that's always come into my head is, how much is enough?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you say that you're working hard, but is that enough?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one's denying that you're working hard. Yeah, you're working 10 hours a day, but do you
Yeah.
really need to work 12 hours a day to make it work? Do you know what I mean? How
Yeah.
much is enough? How do you know that? You know what I mean? And so I'm always asking that. And sometimes I find that people they say they're working hard, and yeah, they're working hard, but it's almost like if they had put 10 more percent out. Pardon?
Are you being productive?
Yeah,
You know, and
that's another
making
thing.
impact in your business? Is it making impact in your business?
Mm-hmm.
Will you set milestones for where you would like to be? And are you reaching those milestones?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
So we've defined it clearly where we are heading, which way we're going, and just monitoring our finances, making sure that we do have the capital to buy stock, to buy packaging, to do all the things that we need to do. To just for now, just sustain the business, not live from it yet. Eventually, we will continue, but we want to create a business that creates value,
mm-hmm.
that has value. That takes time and it does take money.
Are you
So that people know.
mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead, finish. So that
So when people buy our product, they know that there's a lot of value that goes into it, that we as a business place so much value on it. No.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask you, are you doing any paid advertising?
No, not yet.
Well, that's
not
good.
Yet. On Facebook and Insta.
What? Sorry?
On Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook, Insta, anywhere. You know what I mean? Whether like sometimes it's even like a newspaper. You know?
Yes, we just finished paid for our website, and that we could pay from our business. Completely funded it, and we've bought stock now for the fourth time. And we're still in profit, and so it is going well. And I think the first step for us is the testing. So that's where most of the money is going to go before we get to really exploding in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Get our information correct on our website, that we're giving people the proper information.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, don't spend too much time on it.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah.
I'll try not to.
The reason why I say that, right, is because a lot of times we spend a lot of time trying to perfect something when you'll never get it perfect until you get out there and start doing it. And like you can never predict 100% the market until you test the market. Do you know what I mean? And so like I've had friends that I've started in the same, like we started together at the same Seamoss, like the Seamoss business, and the only difference was I just set up something simple so it worked and then took off and just try to push it as hard as I could and made adjustments on the way. Whereas they were kind of like, always in the process of they were always spending time revamping their website. Oh, I gotta adjust the website. I gotta, they don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like have some decent pictures, have a decent price, have some reviews, and a way for them to contact you. That's all you need.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Everything else can be done over time through feedback based on the clientele that you attract or who you most want to work with. Do you know what I mean? Like you gotta take a look at my site and ask yourself, what makes you want to buy from me? Do you know what I mean? I can tell you right away. You'll see it.
authentic pictures. You know the Seamoss is coming from St. Lucia. There's reviews right there on the site. You can't miss them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's probably the biggest thing that I see that's lacking on the majority of sellers' websites is they don't have a review section.
Yes. We will have a review section.
Okay.
As well, and we've got quite a bit of feedback that we can definitely post on our website. But already we have, even our customers are promoting us.
Yeah.
And we just lady that bought from us, and she got 2 of her colleagues to also buy from us. So yeah, I think it's also just building that relationship with your customers.
Two things.
Sometimes
Sorry to interrupt you, but 2 things you might want to consider developing just on the back end and like have it on your shelf for when you need to pull it is an affiliate program and a small business starter kit. Because here's this person coming and bringing customers to you. In some ways, you should kind of eventually pull them, like let them bring a few customers to you first. But once you're looking at it and you're making some decent money, it's almost like your obligation to go back to them and say, hey, let me set you up so that you can run this business. And then you make money from them making money for themselves.
Yes. So we definitely want to do affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of doing like a package with the Seamoss, the gel, the raw, the olive oil. We sell the raw honey. We also sell the castor oil. And then I actually made my own oil specifically for people that have had fractures or torn ligaments or anything to do with the bone and your ligaments.
Oh, wow.
Because a fracture in my foot last year, twisted my ankle and fractured my foot on the side.
Oh, my God.
And I was still experiencing some pain months after it, especially in the cold weather, or if I'd been cooking quite a bit, and just researching some herbs and just put some stuff together, and I used it for 2 days. The pain is completely gone.
Nice.
Completely gone.
What are some of the herbs that you put in it?
Country tincture, and cayenne pepper, there is castor oil, olive oil, and black seed oil.
Oh, wow.
And that combination that worked amazingly.
I never thought that, yeah. Like, I'm familiar with all those, I never thought of a combination like that. I thought you might have, like, arnica in there.
A meal, and she says that cayenne pepper, like, exponentially boosts any herb that you add with it. And I thought, okay, let's do the combination, apply it on the area, because castor oil penetrates as deep into your organs. It gets really deep. It means that the castor oil will be able to penetrate back into the bone.
Oh, wow.
And deliver the comfrey, which helps with holding your bone again and your cartilage.
That's interesting to know. I'll do some more research on that.
My foot, it feels a lot better. I made an ointment which didn't work too great, but my friend used it anyway. I had too much grease, but it was really hard. So we just took the blow dryer, heated it, and put it on his foot. And he said it's working amazing. He can actually feel the relief in his ankle that he twisted months ago. And so that's why I said that there's a lot of home remedies, home stuff that one can use, and we're absolutely keen on changing that and just helping people to live get a quality of life back. Because sickness and disease does have you. Yeah, and affects your mental health and all other kind of things. You can't work, all those kind of things. So, yeah, I'm excited about that one. We definitely want to get into the sports space, with sports people having injuries, battling to recover. I think that this kind of product will be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, there's huge market and all those stuff. And I was thinking, like, as you were talking, I'm listening, and I'm like thinking, like, there needs to be more of these companies that are creating products from like natural and simple ingredients. You know what I mean? And using some of our like ancient or long these sort of practices for herbs and stuff like that that we've been having for many years. Like we don't have enough products like that out there. Everything's all processed and sort of petrochemical based and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know.
Yes. Yeah, so everything I use, try mostly to use organic
Mm-hmm.
and natural products like the pasta oil is 18 olive oil is cold pressed, the cayenne pepper is also organic. So yeah, we try as far as possible to use all natural stuff because that is what helps your body.
Mm-hmm.
All the natural nutrients that's in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, for sure. I even think there's definitely a market. Something I got to see how, because I have a health food store, and it's like what I see a lot when these people come in the health food store. It's like there's a lot of people that want to. Well, there's two types. There's the extremely educated and the ones that do their own research and study their stuff, and then they're the ones that have no clue what the fuck they're doing, and they heard this from a friend, but they don't know really why they're taking it. Like the amount of times they'll say, "Oh, I need vitamin B12. How much should I take?" And I'm like, "Well, what are you taking it for?" My friend told me to take B12. Like, yeah, but there's so many reasons why you would take B12, like inflammation, this, that. Like, what is it?
Yeah,
Yeah. And then they say to me, "What's the best?" The best for what? Like, what do you mean? What's the best? I hate that question. What's the best? Everything is the best. What do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like the best to eat or the best tasting? You know what I mean? Like that, like define it. But to say what's the best, like, okay, I have to go out and test every single medication that's in this category. You know, just look at Yusuf. Just give him some Seamoss. That you know what? Some of these people started thinking I was crazy because they would be like, "Well, I have this thing with my gut, and so what can I do to help it?" And I'd be like, "Well, you can take CMOS." Yeah, okay. Well, I have this thing with the inflammation, and I can't sleep at night. What should I take? Well, yeah, you can take CMOS. It's like but
suppliers say that if these people put CMOS in the mainstream house stores, they're not going to be able to sell anything else.
that's it. Like I was like saying to myself, like Julian, you got to shut the fuck up because you're gonna put yourself out of business. Because some of this stuff, like they'll sell the probiotics $30 supply for $75. Like I don't think people really understand the true value and benefits that you get from taking CMOS. Like it affects your gut health. It affects you like your skin, your hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your mood.
As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, everything. When you sleep, all kinds of stuff. It is a super multivitamin.
And I do find, because I've had many detoxes as well, and some of them made me feel absolutely terrible. And I do find that CMOS is the least impact on how you feel.
Hmm.
So it's like a gentle detox.
Yes, the CMOS is actually. Let me get you something real quick to show you guys. Say hi to Yusuf. Yusuf is a good friend of mine who's very knowledgeable on herbs and everything, and he's definitely my cheerleader when it comes to arguing about CMOS getting nutrients from a rock. You're right back. How you doing?
I'm good and you.
All right.
Camping.
No, I'm in a 18 wheeler.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it do look like but this the window is just covered up.
Oh, okay. We call it a caravan in South Africa.
Yeah. Well, he's got like a semi truck, like that they truck like the food around the states. So this is a new product. This is like a sample jar that we're gonna probably start selling soon. We just haven't figured out really like who to market it to and how much to sell it for. What is it? This is a Seamoss face wash.
Oh.
And it's got 3 ingredients in it. It's got Seamoss gel, water, and colloidal soap.
Like colloidal soap, colloidal soap?
Yeah, colloidal soap.
Antibacterial properties as well.
Yeah, I don't know about the exact. It's not like colloidal silver, but it's something similar. And so the guy that designed it or formulated it, like my partner has a friend that's like a chemist guy. He just formulates products, all kinds of shit. And so he said the colloidal soap, what it does is it acts like some kind of hydronic acid or something like that, and so it'll peel a layer of the skin away and allow the Seamoss to penetrate deep inside. Yeah, and so what happens is, pardon?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so what happens, because I've tried it a few times, is it kind of like really softens and plumps up your skin. And then if you have any sort of like eczema or blemishes, because I sometimes have it here, these dry patches that get kind of itchy, they just become soft. I don't have them anymore. Like when I'm feeling them now, I'm just like,
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really it's it's great for like removing makeup. I think that's where we're gonna sort of market it as.
Amazing.
Because it's
actually, because of the acid reflux I used to have.
Yeah.
Is this some who can? I mean, a chemist. It would be amazing to have, instead of the Gaviscon, which is a product that we use in South Africa for acid reflux, and all it does, it neutralizes your stomach acid. But if you could have something like Seamoss, that's not as concentrated as the gel, I suppose, it would be amazing.
Yeah, if you had the Seamoss, that wasn't. You could just have some powder, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a reflux.
I use it for acid reflux, and I don't have it anymore at all. No problem.
Yeah, no, because it's good for the acid reflux, because I think it has a lot. It's partly because of the probiotics that are in the Seamoss. The different polysaccharides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That help with the gut health.
The common thing that's happening, I do find quite a few people that are developing gallstones, and that is again just nutrition. And the first friend of mine had hers removed, and I started experiencing this pain in her back. And the only way I could describe it was exactly the same way that she had described it. And since I've been taking the Seamoss, I don't get any of those pains anymore. And digestion is absolutely improved. Absolutely.
Nice.
So that's another tincture besides the bone and cartilage oil that I make. I'm definitely looking into someone that has a gallbladder removed. Just to have a tincture that will help with the digestion.
Wow, I never thought about that. Because having their gallbladder removed and all that kind of stuff, adding the Seamoss to help with that inflammation and gut health and stuff like that, that would be really beneficial.
Yeah. There are other herbs that I've looked into, but I still need to do a bit of research and look at the combination. I'm not incorporate Seamoss as well. But I obviously need to look at if one is going to cancel out other as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But yeah, I make macaroni oils, always with olive oil and all my herbs. And yeah, my family is my tasters. So if anyone has an ailment, like, yeah, you can try this one. And most of the time it works. It works. So, really excited about this. Part of our website, we're going to have blogs. We are going to start a YouTube to talk about your natural remedies, teaching people how to make your own oil tinctures as well, and make it focus for South Africans, because we can only get certain products in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to help market what you do and get people out there to promote, because it's one way to show social proof and validate who you guys are, and that creates a lot of trust. And so that's an awesome idea.
But yeah, listen, guys, I have to get back to my office work.
Oh yes.
It's been amazing chatting to you, Lucian, and good to see you face to face.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have some more live sessions, and I'm absolutely keen to have more conversations. If you just let me know, and I'll jump on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or if you just see the notification come on and jump in on the conversation.
Yeah, that's if I'm awake. I'm not awake normally.
I know she's calling from South Africa, Yusuf.
Oh, that's where you're at right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's now 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so she's been on here for like an hour with me.
So it's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the morning over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Late night owl.
That's it. Seamoss.
I just finished driving.
Seamoss never sleeps.
Guys, again.
All right.
So,
take care.
Well.
Bye. Yosef, Wagwan.
You ain't been on here in a minute, huh?
No, I've been busy running around. You know what I mean? That's why tonight I was like, I'm home early. I was like, I could go to bed. I was like, fuck it. Let me go see who wants to talk about Seamoss. And let me see if I can just ramble and talk shit for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my well, they sent me a logo like how I wanted it, but I'm getting it redone. There's certain things I don't like about it.
Who are you getting to do your logo?
It's this company they do like it's more like the name, but it's like spelled out a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you have it's real nice, but that's gonna be a logo, the name itself,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to be able to trademark it and copyright it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do it all in one thing instead of copyrighting the logo and then copyright the name and all that. Not do it in one. So the name and the logo is the same thing.
One application.
Yeah.
I hear you. What are you watching?
I'm trying to. I'm getting into magnesium lotion and magnesium oil.
Mm-hmm.
And like magnesium flakes. I want to sell those to people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know anything about magnesium oil and soap and lotion and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or the cream or the gel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We sell that at our stores. Magnesium's a great product all around. You know what I mean? Like you can take it to help you sleep better. You can take it for your muscles recovery. All kinds of shit. I'm sure you already know this, right?
Yeah. The only it's kind of expensive though. The oil is kind of expensive that I'm looking at. I think it's like $5 or $4 for 4 ounces.
Wow. But like I was gonna say, how much do you really need though?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like most companies that do that, and this company is all natural stuff, but it's they the minimum I think is 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is high as hell.
Yeah, but how long would it take you to sell that much?
Probably not that long.
So then it's not that high as hell.
Well, you think that?
You fell into that one. But it's like I was saying earlier, it's all how you frame it, you know.
Yeah.
But if you can.
I think when it comes down to like the internet, like e-commerce and things like that, I think people kind of overdo it somewhat, and it's the best way to sell something is like bundles, like putting stuff where people feel like they're getting a deal, so your customers feel like they're being taken care of. And really, if you can sell to 100 people, you're successful. Like people don't understand. Like if you can sell to 100 people a month, a week, that's good.
Yeah, it's not easy.
If you can sell to 1,000 people, you really like that's really good. If you can sell to 1,000 people, you can quit your job. If you can constantly do that, you know.
Yeah, 1,000's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more sure you sold more than that to people before.
No, I'd say, let me take a look right now. I'll tell you how many customers we've had or how many profiles we've had.
But you would say since you started, you sold more than like 5,000 or 1,000 people.
Yeah, I've done over 6,000 orders.
Since you opened the website? Since you opened, that's all you sold. You saying over that?
Like 6,000 orders, yeah.
In a year or a month?
No, like in like all time. So when I look on my thing, I have something like 5,734 active profiles. Wonder how many customers I have exactly. Yeah, it's actually 5,251 customers on my website. But I think even some of these are like doubles, and people like log in more. So let's say 5,000. Probably 200 of it is the doubles. But my order number right now is at 7,401, and it started at 1,000. So I've done 6,401 orders.
So like how many orders you say you would I mean, are you promoting it though or anything? Well, yeah, I see because I got some emails from you too.
Yeah.
I think like yesterday, it's been like 3 days. I think I made an email.
Have you been getting an email every day for the last 3 days?
Like, it could have been 3 emails the last 3 days. Oh, that's just me.
No,
because there's so much stuff come through my mail, which it irritates me because I have to pin stuff now, like make sure it's going to like where I'm going to see it. So I make certain things important. So I don't have to sift through it as much.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I asked that is because I have this service called Audience, and what Audience does is it goes out and segments the customers for different things, right? and then I send out these email campaigns. But I have the email campaign structured so that it won't, like, say you got an email in the last 26 hours, it won't send you another email until that 26 hours is over. So you shouldn't get more than one email every other day.
Yeah, I think it's only 3 I got.
Yeah, but if you got 3 in 3 days, that means the thing's not working.
It could. I mean, I'm saying that's when I check it, so it's probably not like that. I check it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see, but you know, 'cause I rarely check my emails, but I think I saw one in there yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I think it has been 3, but I don't know if it was like back to back, but I know I saw them in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still, what do you think about the emails?
I was looking at it, but I was looking at the little logo. What I saw, I pinned it on there because I ain't never go back to it. But I know you had a sale.
I have a few sales.
Yeah, you have sales a lot. I know.
Lately.
Sales a lot.
Well, what the thing does is it identifies if you haven't bought, and like, so it'll keep putting you up for campaigns for me to send some stuff, you know what I mean, on the sale. And I have and I got to make more of these templates, but I have maybe 10 or 15 different templates that are used to send out these repeated messages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so far, it's worked good. Like, business has definitely grown since I started this. So I'm not complaining. And it takes the guesswork out of making the email messages. Like me now doing an email campaign, bro, it is so easy. Like, I could probably talk to you right now and do the shit, and in the background, I'm doing the email campaigns. Yeah.
So how is it? Is something that you would do, or it's like generated? You put in what you want, they're generated for you.
Yeah. Yes. They. So you have to have a certain amount of orders, right, to begin with, and then what it does is it connects to your Shopify website, right, and it links this app called Klaviyo that's used for marketing. And so it goes onto your Shopify website and looks at your customer data and their buying habits. And it starts using AI to identify different member sections or what are called, segments. Right? Now, it's important for you to segment your mailings or your emails, because if you had a mailing list such as mine where there's 5,000 people on it, or over 5,000. If I sent one email to everybody, 90% of a huge, well, not 90%, but a huge portion of the people seeing the email are probably not going to resonate with what I'm offering in that email, right? Because of whatever their buying habits don't fit that. They're not going to open that message, and that causes me to have poor open rates. If I continue to have poor open rates, then Google and all these other services will just automatically file me in a different section where I can't be seen, right? Because they think, oh, this guy's just trying to sell something, and this person never opens up their email. So, this email is probably garbage, right? Whereas if you have the segments, and now I'm, the computer is identifying, this group of people of say 500 people, they only use coupons when they order. So send them a coupon and they're going to, more than likely bite at that offer.
Yeah.
Having that data is dispensable, and then it's a huge time saver. Because now I don't have to think about what to write or who to write it to.
Okay.
Great product, well worth it. It's, I pay $100 a month for it, but it probably brings in like over $10,000 worth of sales in a month.
God damn.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it. Yeah. And could you imagine, like, before I started this, I didn't even know, like, it was like I was just leaving money on the table. You know what I mean? Like, I was not getting that funds. So it's added $10,000 more sales to my business.
Yeah. So like do the biggest thing I see a lot of people doing right now, even companies, like everybody have to do it now. Like I'm saying, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, everybody, they deal with these influencers. Like they deal with people that have a lot of followers. You know, and I noticed Instagram, if you can get it on Instagram or TikTok, like that's big money.
Yeah.
You know, that's real big money. My wife, her brother, he does that. Like he is an influencer, so everybody sends him merchandise, they send him clothes, they send him products. And like they pay him for it. So it's like he constantly make money by just advertising things. Some stuff he don't want to advertise, but you know, they'll send him say, hey, just wear these clothes, whatever, take pictures with it and post it. He get paid for it. So it's like I noticed a lot of companies do that now because that's how the younger generation sees products. They don't see it from commercials. They don't see it from like emails, because young people, they're not looking at emails. So it's like they look at the influencers, like what they show on their pages and things. So that's how they look at stuff. You know, I noticed that, but I've been looking into more, and I've been seeing this dude, he talks about it a lot too. Because that's how he made the bulk of his money. And that's something I'm trying to follow right now. Hopefully these people are with my damn logo.
It's interesting, like how we have these influencers and how like accepting we are to them. Because there was a time, I don't know if you remember this, but even before, like I was younger, but I knew about it. There used to be this term called a shill. You ever heard of the term a shill? So my understanding, I could be corrected wrong, but a shill is basically someone that's hired to go out in the public and recommend a product for someone else, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you own a restaurant, you pay me, and I go into a public place and I say, hey, you know, I had the best meal at so and so. You really need to go down there and eat there, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And sometimes the restaurant would be shit, right? But they're paying people to give fake. It's basically giving fake reviews. And in some ways, that's what an influencer is doing. He's reviewing the product as in a favorable light, but he probably would never have bought that product unless someone put it in his hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. This is where we've been conditioned over time now, where it's like, you know, we don't want to try something unless we know that someone's validated it. You know what I'm saying? And so, because I remember even going to a restaurant solely because I saw the video on TikTok. Seriously. And the food looked decent. And she said it was, and I mean, the food was okay, although they didn't have the deals that they said, like, it wasn't exactly how it was prescribed on the video. You know what I mean? They always overhype it. And I realized, like, who's going to come out there and say this, who's a paid influence and say this product's shit? You know, if it's shit.
That's how a lot of restaurants do in Texas. Like it's they promote on Instagram like crazy. When you go there, it's trash. Like completely trash.
I believe it.
But that's how most people get their information. I don't really like that because I think it's stupid. I feel like if you're like promoting a product, at least try the product and give a real review. Or if you don't deal with it, just don't do it. You know, I mean, because if I was doing it, I wouldn't accept anything. It's like, nah, if I like it, then I'm gonna talk about it. But most of the stuff, like, I don't know, because like I try everything. I try so many products, and it's like I ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna do no review, but I'll tell somebody about it if they ask me. I never do like, review and things like that. I leave something if something was horrible, like restaurants, so I leave them a nice review. Nice review. If it's horrible.
I don't really leave bad reviews. But I laugh sometimes because I've been, how do you say it? I've been online for a long time. And I used to be in a lot of like social groups and like you remember Yahoo groups and shit like that. And so,
I'm so happy that's gone.
huh?
I'm so happy Yahoo group
Is it gone? Oh my gosh. The spam that used to come from Yahoo groups. Oh my gosh. But I used to do Yahoo groups. I remember I was in a group. This is how fucking nerdy I am, okay? I used to run what were they called? It was called some server, but I think it was like a hothouse server or a hot list server. And basically, what it was a bunch of files that I had downloaded, and you can come onto my server and this is before they had BitTorrent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back when you used to pirate files and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I used to go on dial-up and download these files and movies and stuff and store them on my server and have it so that people could come onto the net. Like they could come on, like log into my server and go on and download files. But in order to download the files, you had to basically go through this like script that I would make. And through the script, you would have to join some kind of advertising program or something like that and run ads on your computer. And then I would make money off the advertise. Like I had something like 3,000 people running ads and stuff like that. And I was making like, not much, but probably about 500-600 a month. Huh?
I hated that type of shit.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking. You'd be like, man, why I got to do this just to download this? Why? I hated that shit.
Oh yeah, but that's how we made our money, man.
Man, you know how many programs I got like that? Got ZBrush. I got I had so you know the special effects in movies? I'm talking about all the special effects. Yeah. I downloaded every single thing. And I end up selling my computer. I had the program that does the special effects. I had which you use what is that?
Adobe.
Adobe, but the effects is made from a different company. It's After Effects. It's Action Essentials, and they have blood splatter, gun shots, and it's all type of stuff exposing. I used to download that type of stuff. I downloaded. I used to keep the games on my service, all of the games, so people can download those.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be on the internet back then like crazy. I never bought Bitcoin when I should have.
Oh my God. I know. I remember too when they were talking about mining Bitcoin and stuff. And I'm looking back, if I had known that they meant the computers were doing the actual mining, oh man.
I should have just bought $1 worth of Bitcoins. I'd have had 600 million right now.
Wow, 600 million. It's a lot.
That's a shame.
Jeez.
But man,
I'm just watching
hey,
this.
don't you know don't you know somebody that make the Seamoss soap, right?
I know a few people that make Seamoss soap. Why?
Oh, I know. You were on what was
A
that?
live stream before, right?
Yeah, it was on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Clubhouse.
The girl was from Windsor. I was just talking about her today. It's funny you bring that person up. Is that what you're talking about? The girl that made her own soaps and the lye and stuff?
No, not her. But yeah, I still have her information. She makes her own soap, and she was talking about the mushrooms and stuff too. I think.
Yeah.
But I think it was somebody else that made the soap, and they sell it. You know, they sell it so you can like sell it and stuff. So I was just looking for somebody.
Yeah,
that can do that.
To do the resale.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of a more businesses like that like their job is really to supply the other businesses with the wholesale products, especially doing like drop shipping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've been checking out this company called Trace Minerals. I've been checking them out.
Trace
Trace Minerals. You need to look them up. But I get a lot of my minerals and stuff from them, but they make different things like skin products and things as well.
Oh, nice. Never heard of them.
Yeah, that's. I use them like when I make Seamoss. I still add extra stuff to it. They minerals is from it is from natural water, like seawater and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Natural sources.
Yeah. But yeah, you ought to check them out. But they do private labeling, which I was talking to them today. So I like some of their skin products.
Mm-hmm. What are you watching?
Oh, Cowboy Bebop.
Huh?
Cowboy Bebop.
What the hell is that? I never heard of that.
You can hear it.
No, never heard of that. Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, it's an anime. They made it out of a live action on Netflix, but the live action dumb. I didn't think you can hear that.
So it says, hey, Julien, how will the bill that was passed affect people? I'm not sure. What bill are you referring to? Is it a bill that's in the States or there's a bill in Canada? Because there's a few of them going around. You know?
What kind of bills?
Like a new law or something.
Dealing with agriculture.
Like there's one where they were talking about the FDA and Seamoss and stuff like that. I know there's that one in the States, but in Canada, we're actually going through a unique situation right now where a lot of people are starting to freak out because it means some drastic changes to the supplement industry in Canada. And so what the Canadian government now is doing now, and I don't know exactly all the exact details, but generally they're coming up with new rules and regulations to regulate the supplement industry. And so the supplement industry is already pretty heavily regulated, and now they're requiring these companies to go even further more, which will incur a lot more costs. And so many of these vendors have clearly said, look,
you know, we're probably going to not offer this product in Canada anymore. If you want, you can get it from the States. But, if we have to go through all this regulatory, hoopla and extra expense, it doesn't make sense when Canadians such a smaller market. We'll just abandon the market. We don't need to do, and so, yeah, it's a pretty serious situation there because it could mean, like, I think 30 or 40. They're saying about 30% of the supplements could be off the market by next year, like a year after this bill is passed.
It's some stuff they try to make illegal. That's just ridiculous, though.
But
Like some herbs, I don't understand it. It's like simple stuff. It's like, oh, we don't want to sell it. Oh, you can't sell that no more. But
yeah, I mean, they come up with these fucked up rules. A lot of times they don't even know what the hell they're doing. When they make these rules up and stuff.
it's like, what is that? Bitter melon. Bitter melon is considered poisonous in Florida, but it grows all over Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not poisonous shit. It's a bit of you can eat it. You can make tea. It's real nasty. I can say that. So tastes like poison, but it's good for you. But Florida, they don't want it down there. They don't want you to sell it. They don't want you to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Look at Plant B Fitness is here. I can't stay on here too much later.
You need to check out this thing called Smart Cup.
Smart Cup?
Smart Cup. Check it out. It's this guy. He came up with a cup, and it's just an empty cup. You add water to it, so the supplements and things is printed in the cup. So you pour the water in there, automatically mix.
The world's first printed beverage.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid.
Yeah, it does. But I was like, man, that dude about to make a whole bunch of money because pharmaceuticals gonna eat that shit up.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the pill, just pour it in a cup, water in the cup, and let the people drink it.
Yeah. Interesting.
It sounds real stupid, but it sounds stupid.
It does. Like, look what it is. It's like a cup with a little filter on the bottom or something like that.
It does. It sounds real stupid, but it's like you just add water to it, and it's alcoholic beverage, or it can be whatever it is. Like you
really.
But I don't know. I can just see that. I can just see them doing other things with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see something like a medicine thing.
Yeah, I think it's stupid, but smart at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how they're sustainable. Smart tech. That's interesting. But this would be cool to have, like a Seamoss cup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I was just thinking, I was like, man, that'd be tight if some type of herbs can be printed like that, or teas or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be cool to have something like an active hangover relief drink or something like that. You know what I mean? You just add water.
That'd be real tight. That'd be real nice.
Because, like, whatever you do, it's got to be something that, how do you say it, solves a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or else why are you buying it? So no.
The cup, it doesn't dissolve because the stuff is printed on the inside of the cup. Like you have to see it. It doesn't dissolve or anything.
Yeah, it will. It looks like what it is it's got like a membrane in between, and that dissolves, but not the cup.
But it's interesting. They were saying that the cup is made from like a plant-based source, and that's another thing that's going to be happening for Seamoss in the coming years. Is that they're making a lot of they're doing a lot of research into building bioplastics using Seamoss.
Yeah, you can use Seamoss for like you know how the sausage have this membrane over it.
The who?
Like when people have sausages like breakfast sausage.
Oh, the casing. The casing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have some stuff that this vegan stuff that when they're making like fake sausages and they use that type of like seaweed gel or whatever to become that like casing on it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be. But don't they have one that's made with vegan stuff already?
Yeah, probably so.
But it's good. Because I know, or there's like, since that, because there are casings that aren't, like they used to use intestines, but now they don't use, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to use intestines for hot dogs and stuff. So, whatever. But I actually think I'm gonna have to pull the rip cord tonight because it's 1:44 and I still have to get up in the morning.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah, I have to get up like 7, 8 o'clock, and I'm tired and it's been a long day. I've been on this since 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Or no, I lied. I think maybe I started at 10. No, I think I started at 10. To be honest with you.
Dang. I didn't even see. I just saw when I stopped.
Yeah. Let's see. Does it say? Yeah, it's at least 2 hours. I'm at the 117.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been doing it. No, it's got to be more than 2 hours. You know what? It's probably gonna like. How do you say it? It's gonna end soon because it's probably more than the 17.
Okay. Well, all right, man.
All right, bro.
I need to wake up.
Yeah.
They got like 9 hours. I gotta get at least 8 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll try and come back, do this tomorrow earlier. Hey, are you still holding any XRP?
No.
You haven't been following it, have you?
No. What happened?
So the SEC, they won the case on the SEC. SEC lost. This was on the around the 14th, and the stock, the coin jumped up from 47 cents, or about 40 something cents to 95 cents in like one day, and like a matter of a few hours, and now it's trading at 80 cents. So I've bought a lot of coin at 39 cents and 30 cents, like back when it was like cheap, and I've been like waiting for this day.
They never they stopped letting us purchase it over here though.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, so we couldn't get it over here at all.
That's too bad. Look at this. Back in March, it was 37 cents. It was even cheaper. December, it was like 30 cents.
XRP
Yeah.
is gonna blow up. Like, hold on to that.
Oh yeah, no, XRP is a good long-term play for sure.
Yeah.
You know, because of like I like it because of what its use cases for. You know what I mean? It definitely has. Fuck, I wish they had it now. Like I'm sick of doing wire. I had to do a wire transfer today. It is so archaic, and everybody has their own system, and no one talks to each other, and it's bullshit.
So you had to do a wire transfer with what?
So I had to send some money to St. Lucia.
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. You mean a bank transfer?
Yeah, like a bank wire transfer, but it was a headache. You know what I mean? And so that's what the Ripple is supposed to, XRP, Ripple, whatever, it's supposed to alleviate that problem.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna buy some if it's available on my end. I'm gonna have to get some because I end up cashing out everything at one point.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I can't say everything. I still like have silver. I have like tangible. I have silver and nickel, things like that.
Just hard assets.
Yeah. I was trying to get gold dollars, but those are sold out right now.
It's hard to get the gold.
Man, I ain't gonna keep you up because we about to start talking.
I know. I do that all the time, bro. You know what I mean? So.
I got some shit on my mind. I need to go.
Yeah, I gotta start rolling right in. No, I gotta go because it's like, fuck, Anyways, I'm just looking at pictures of Instagram models.
That's all that. I get so tired of that shit. As soon as I get on Instagram, that's all I see. I'm like, God damn, like, I'm getting tired of it. Right?
Makes me want to go hit the gym. It's like I need to get that body. I ain't attracting shit with this shit.
I was like, man, I gotta stop working out. I gotta eat like I used to.
Well, I'm gonna go. I gotta get onto the smoothie diet. Corey, good night. Because we're gonna start talking again. Hold on here. Oh shit! It's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? So I'll try to come back tomorrow night. If I'm not doing anything, I'll come back early.
Oh, I see that. I see that website you got pinned to. That's a good website.
Yeah, algbase.com. Because earlier I was talking to people about how they need to do research and know like where to get information. Oh, look at this! People were commenting me, and I couldn't even see it. Should I be staying? Good night to you and your guests. I had a long day, but I will rewatch the video and take in a valuable lesson. Yes, thanks for shopping with us. Someone found me on whatchamacallit, on YouTube. Because I stream this on YouTube. But I'm actually going to start doing, I've been talking about this for a while, but I really want to do it, is I want to start my own sort of like YouTube channel and call it like Seamoss Life. And in the show, it will document all my trips to St. Lucia and the people that I meet and who I hang around with and stuff like that. And so I got to really I think next trip I'm going to really sort of plan it better and organize it and have people lined up where I can like officially go meet them and stuff. Because bro, I know a lot of people like in the industry and stuff. You know what I mean? Like last time when I was there, I met with people from the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Agriculture. I met the guy that's in charge of all the Seamoss. Got to sit down with him for like over an hour and just shoot shit on Seamoss. And I didn't even record it. Like we just sat there and talked about the Seamoss industry, other countries, where it was going. I met the original Seamoss farmer ever, like the first ever Seamoss farmer in the world.
Motherfucker gotta be old.
Yeah, well, he's not that old, but that his name is Philip Simeon, and so there's a YouTube video on him where it's like on a newscast where he does an interview, and it's like from the early '80s and shit like that, with him doing the Seamoss, and he's like, I met him just like, bro, I was walking in St. Lucia in this town called Labrie, going to the farms to check this my friend Seamoss farm, this guy Tommy Lee, and he hits me and says, "Yo, you see that guy there?" He's like, "That's the original Seamoss farmer." And I look, and I recognized him, and you know what I mean. And sure enough, it was him. And so we sat and talked, and he brought me. I was with this other company, some friends of mine. I don't know if they want to be mentioned, so I'm not gonna mention them. But we went there, went to his house, hung out at his house, like talked Seamoss. He told us his whole life story, how he got started in it, all this other crazy shit. Like, yeah, it was a really good time. So my point in saying that is like, you know, I could do this Seamoss show and have some pretty interesting guests come on and talk about, you know, some deep stuff when it comes to Seamoss. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Nobody else is doing that either.
No, nobody. No one can do it. Not too many people have access to this kind of, you know.
Yeah, they don't even show you like how they process the Seamoss and things like that once they take it out.
No, no one wants. No one wants to show it. Like they only want to show it going from the water into the boat
with the rock on it. But
and bro, the biggest, sorry to cut you off, but the biggest joke is I've been there when some of these guys are making the film, and if you were to uncrop the photo, you'd see the fucking farm, the sticks right in the background. Yeah, you know, I laugh. It's just like, it is so much easier to tell the truth.
Yeah, and I can go all day on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we better say goodnight because we're starting into another conversation. It was like 10 minutes ago I said we were leaving. Okay. Good night, Yusuf. It was a pleasure hanging out with you, and we'll have a great time the next time we talk. We're gonna put a pin in this and discuss it later. All right. Good night.
Good night.
All right. And oops, there you have it. Seamoss Life, live stream talk. Thank you so much for those that, you know, took the time to, you know, spend some time with me and talk about Seamoss and listen to me ramble about this and that and that and this. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great evening, and don't forget to take your Seamoss. Julien out.